Sean O'Malley against Merab Dvalishvili again. And when Dana announced this fight, I was quite surprised because it's a fight that we already have seen, and more importantly, it's a fight that did not really leave that many questions. It's really not that intriguing in a way that Merab dominated Sean O'Malley for most of the fight, and at the same time, Sean O'Malley did really nothing after he lost that fight. It was not like he was a champion for 5 years and he had many defenses and, he lost decisively, but because he was so dominant before that, they give him a fight. No. Sean O'Malley just lost and he only had one title defense. And he gets now another title shot. And more importantly, man just lost that fight, and he really did not show that he's now a different man. Sometimes fighters lose, like let's take Charles Oliveira. He had lost so many fights, but then he just wins in such a dominant fashion that you're still interested. You still want to see those fights because you see this man and you're like, that's better, He's better than he has ever been. He's showing in this fight something special that we have not seen before. But Sean O'Malley did nothing, and he still gets the title shot. Is this really that bad? No, I would actually say that it's not really that bad, and I am personally really interested in this rematch, even though it does not have almost any hype. It's a fight that we have seen. It's a fight that was not really good. It was at best okay fight. Merab kissed Sean O'Malley on his neck or back. First of all, if you are a real fight fan, why do you even care who's kissing who during the fight? It's all about fighting, it's all about skill, it's all about entertainment in terms of the violence, and at the same time you are seeing some guy kissing another one. Is that supposed to be entertaining? I don't think so. That fight had a really good last round in a way that Sean O'Malley did hurt Merab, and he was actually quite close to finishing Merab. So it's a fight that I would still like to see. Especially I know that Sean O'Malley is a really good fighter. We should not forget that this man has probably one of the best finish rates in the whole bantamweight history, and at the same time he has a just unbelievable precision. There is no one as dangerous as Sean O'Malley in the octagon when it comes to especially striking. And even if we just take the striking away and we just say in a bantamweight, there is no one as dangerous. And he showed that even against Merab. Yes, against Merab could control Sean O'Malley most of the fights, during the most of the fight, but the last round, it was quite close. Sean O'Malley caught Merab, he hurt him in his body, and then Merab was like really scared, he was running. He still managed to survive that, but it was too close, It was quite close in that regard. It was not as close as Marlon Moraes, but that was also a different Merab. Merab after that improved a lot. Like he fought so many killers and he just dominated almost all of them, basically all of them, except Jose Aldo. More importantly, Merab, after his fight against Sean O'Malley, defended already a title against Umar Nurmagomedov, the undefeated guy, super good wrestling, just a complete fighter, durable, good cardio, just everything, really good. And Merab just proves himself, and people were saying Merab is avoiding Umar, he's ducking, he's emotional. It just shows that he's insecure because he's gonna actually fight finally the guy who can wrestle, and he did that. And that fight was really good compared to against Sean O'Malley. That fight was really good. Merab had really good moments in wrestling, in striking. It was quite entertaining. It was high-paced fight because Merab also had a little bit less to be afraid in striking, since Umar does not have that one-hit knockout power or precision, whatever you want to call it, finishing ability. So Merab goes, and after the fight against Sean O'Malley, he beats Umar Nurmagomedov, one of the best prospects. I mean, he's not really a prospect, he's a title challenger. Undefeated record coming from Nurmagomedov family. Well, Sean O'Malley did what? Let's see his record. 2024. Okay, it's already 2025. Sean O'Malley did not fight at all. Has he been just watching the television? Probably not. He has been, of course, training. And I could imagine that his wrestling nowadays would be so much better because he showed that he has such a big deficiency in that regard. Before that, he was saying that his jiu-jitsu is so good that he doesn't really need to train wrestling that much, and even if you take him down, then he will show you that he has a great jiu-jitsu. Now we saw that no, you don't have that great of a jiu-jitsu, and at the same time your wrestling is not on the level to defend Merab's takedowns. Of course, even if Sean fights against Merab now, he will probably still get taken down, but it's also about how often do you get taken down, you know? No one has the illusion that Sean O'Malley now will be a better wrestler than Merab, but he will most likely be a better wrestler than he was. And if his wrestling ability improved so much that now he can have more time on the feet, it might lead to a much closer fight. It might. And with Sean O'Malley, if you actually are an MMA hardcore fan, you do know that this man, even though nowadays has no hype, and I really do not like him as a person. I think he's boring. I think the way he speaks is super uninteresting. He's nothing like prime Conor McGregor, just because he has an Irish surname. Man has zero charisma. He's a native English speaker. He has a great style, but he's boring. You know, when he speaks, he's uninteresting. Just super non-charismatic person. But he is very, very dangerous fighter. Super precise. And now he's already 30 years old. And you could also imagine that Merab has had so many wars. Okay? Like against Cejudo, Piotrin, Jose Aldo, Sean O'Malley, Umar Nurmagomedov, Moraes, Taman, Dodson. And with all of these guys he had decision wins. So he's getting older. He has so many decision wins. He did not really have any fights where he just beat them in 10 seconds or 30 seconds and okay, he did not take that much damage. He took damage in every fight. And now he's already 34 years old, which is not that old, but for bantamweight, we're going slowly there. While Sean O'Malley took this time, probably trained his wrestling very in a proficient way, and now he's exactly 30 years old. He's in his prime. Probably strength and conditioning has been improved. I'm very interested in this fight. And at the same time, if we see who else deserves it, Merab wants to fight Sean O'Malley. Merab already fought against Umar. Piotr Jan, maybe. But the problem with Jan is that he has been so much more dominated by Merab than O'Malley. You know, that fight was definitely a better fight than against Sean O'Malley. But Merab dominated Jan more. You know, he broke him. At least with O'Malley did not look that broken. It looked like, okay, he got beaten, but the damage was not that high. And at the same time, O'Malley had a really good moment in the last round. Jan did not even have that. Yes, Jan did defend more, just so many takedowns, but he could not damage Merab at all. Who else? You know, Sandhagen just lost, Figueiredo lost, Song Yadong is simply not there yet. There's no one really who deserves title fight. Like with Umar, we could say that alright, this guy is undefeated, he's beating so many good guys, and maybe he deserves it. we cannot really say the same thing about anyone else. So in this scenario, I do think Sean O'Malley, at the end of the day, in this situation where we are, deserves to fight Merab. I would like it more if Sean O'Malley would first fight maybe against Jan, and then the winner would fight against Merab. But I think UFC just really wants to get rid of Merab, and they are just making him fight so much, like this man is fighting every year. Let's see, 2024 2 fights, 2023 okay 1, and then like every year he has some fights. He did not really have that big of a pause. And 2025 he already fought, and now he's gonna be fighting when? In September, or where is it? In June. So not that far away. Yeah, I'm interested in this fight. I'm very interested, and I think it's gonna be quite interesting. Even though it has zero hype, there is no bad blood. There is nothing really entertaining in that way. But as a hardcore fan, it's interesting, because I believe Sean would be a different fighter nowadays. Even though he did not show us that, I would imagine that he has been putting work. Let's see.